Most people are crawling through life adding one more view, one more follower, one more sale. That's why they stay stuck at level 1 forever. I don't play that game, I play multiplication. I ask myself, how can I turn this one thing into 10 things? How can I take 10 things and turn them into 100? And I don't stop until the math gets so ridiculous that people think I've lost my mind. Addition is slow, multiplication is insane. Addition says, cool, I made $100 today, maybe I can make $120 tomorrow. Multiplication says, cool, I made $100, now let's figure out how to turn it into 1,000 by the end of the week. Addition crawls. Multiplication jumps. Addition is your old phone's loading speed. Multiplication is fiber internet strapped to a rocket. Every time I do anything, launch a project, spend $1, shoot a video, I stop and ask, how can this one move create 10 more moves? If I'm making one video, how can it become 5 shorts, 3 TikToks, 2 Instagram reels, and a newsletter story? If I'm meeting one person, how can I turn that into 5 more introductions? If I'm giving away $10,000, how can that giveaway pay me back $100,000 in attention, growth, and brand power? That's multiplication. When you multiply, every little win becomes a bigger win. One viral video brings in new subscribers. They watch your old videos, those blow up. You gain more subscribers. Sponsors pay more. You reinvest into crazier projects. Those go viral again. Before you know it, you're not pushing the snowball, it's chasing you downhill and smashing through everything in its path. People think multiplication means starting big. Wrong. You can start with a tiny budget, tiny audience, tiny anything. The key is what you do with it. Got $100. Turn it into 200 by flipping, reselling, or making a challenge out of it. Got 100 followers. Collaborate. Shout each other out. Create wild stunts. Turn it into 1,000. Got one skill. Package it 10 ways. Videos, tutorials, merch, courses, collaborations, giveaways. Most people fail because they get a little success and cash out to reward themselves. Not me. Every single dollar I made in the beginning went straight back into the next project. Bigger, louder, riskier, because multiplication dies when you stop feeding it. If you want that monster growth, you've got to keep throwing fuel on the fire until people can't look away. Multiplication isn't just about making more money. It's about making such a massive impact that people can't escape your name. It's about creating moments that get screenshotted, shared, memed, and replayed for years. It's about doing things on a scale so unthinkable that even your haters have to respect it. Stop thinking, how do I get a little more? Start thinking, how do I explode this thing so hard it changes my life and everyone watching? You don't win the game by crawling. You win by multiplying every move until the scoreboard breaks. When you make your first dollar, your first instinct is to hold onto it, buy something nice, celebrate. But if you're serious about getting rich, you've got to kill that instinct. I didn't keep my first dollar. I didn't keep my first 1,000. I didn't keep my first 100,000. Every single cent went right back into making the next thing bigger, louder, crazier, and more impossible to ignore. That's how you go from small to unstoppable. You reinvest relentlessly. Most people treat money like a trophy. They get a win, they cash out, they show it off. But when you reinvest, money isn't a trophy, it's fuel. The second you earn it, you pour it back into the fire. You buy better gear so your videos look insane. You hire people who are 10 times better than you at editing, design, marketing. You spend more on your next challenge so it's twice as jaw-dropping. And the beauty is, every time you reinvest, the next round gets bigger returns. It's compounding, but instead of interest, you're compounding attention, growth, and impact. When I had nothing, I didn't save my money for comfort. I put it back into the thing that was feeding my growth. That meant bigger stunts, bigger giveaways, and bigger risks. The crazier I went, the more people talked. The more people talked, the more money came in, and every time that money showed up, I didn't pocket it. I weaponized it. Because once you start using your income as a weapon instead of a cushion, the game changes forever. People will think you're reckless. They'll say you're wasting money. They won't understand that reinvesting is the only reason you're going to leave them behind. They're saving for security, you're spending for scale. They want comfort, you want domination. Reinvesting relentlessly is what turns a small idea into a giant empire. It's how you go from $100 to $1 million without waiting 20 years. Every dollar you pull out of the cycle is a dollar that stops working for you. But every dollar you keep in the cycle is like adding another engine to your rocket. You don't just move, you blast into orbit. So here's the rule, you're not done until the thing you're building is so massive it runs on its own momentum. Until then, every cent goes back in, bigger ideas, bigger moves, bigger reach. Because if you keep reinvesting, one day you won't just be playing the game, you'll own the whole thing. If you want to grab people's attention in a world where everyone's scrolling at 100 miles an hour, you can't just be good. You have to be unforgettable. You have to create moments so big, so wild, so over the top that people stop in their tracks, slam the pause button, and say, wait, what did I just watch? That's shock value, but shock alone isn't enough. You've got to fuse it with creativity so it's not just loud, it's brilliant. Shock value is the spark. Creativity is the gasoline. You can throw a pie in someone's face and get a laugh, but turn it into a whirl. Record pie fight for charity, and suddenly it's an event that travels across platforms, gets covered in news articles, and is remembered for years. That's the difference between a cheap stunt and a creative spectacle. The goal is to make people feel something instantly: surprise, awe, disbelief, even FOMO. The bigger the emotional hit, the more they share it. And every share is free advertising. That's how you multiply your reach without spending a cent. When you combine creativity with scale, your ideas don't just land, they explode. Think of it like this: you could give away $100 and get a couple of thank yous. Or you could give away $100,000 in a way nobody's ever seen before. Put it in a giant safe in the middle of a field. Lock it with a code hidden inside a massive scavenger hunt. Make people work together, betray each other, and go through insane challenges just to get it. Suddenly, you've turned a simple giveaway into a viral story that people will talk about long after the money's gone. And it's not just about money. Shock value and creativity work with anything: time, effort, even location. Filming in the middle of the ocean, building something that shouldn't exist, attempting something everyone says is impossible. These are attention magnets. The human brain is wired to notice things it's never seen before. If you give people the same thing they've seen 100 times, you'll get ignored. Give them something they couldn't even imagine. They'll click, watch, and share without thinking twice. But here's the secret most people miss. You can't do this once and expect to win. Shock value is like an adrenaline hit. People get used to it fast. That means you have to outdo yourself every time. Each idea has to be bigger, crazier, more impossible than the last. If you blew their minds last month, you have to break their brains this month. You have to make them say there's no way they can top that, and then prove them wrong. Shock value without creativity is just noise. Creativity without shock value is art that no one sees. But put them together, and you've got something unstoppable. Spectacle people can't scroll past, can't stop talking about, and can't forget. That's how you don't just join the conversation, you become the conversation. Most people think the goal is to make one great product, one killer video, one viral moment, and call it a day. That's small thinking. If you really want to be untouchable, you don't just build a product, you build an ecosystem. You create a world where every piece connects to the others, where each move you make feeds into 10 other moves, and where once people step in, they never want to leave. A product is a one-time interaction. An ecosystem is a lifetime relationship. With a product, someone buys it, uses it, and they're gone. With an ecosystem, they buy one thing, that thing leads them to another, then another, and suddenly, they're not just customers. They're part of your universe. Think about it. You could sell one t-shirt and make a few bucks. Or you could launch a merch line that ties into your videos, your challenges, your events. Now that t-shirt isn't just clothing. It's a ticket into your community. They wear it, post it, tag you, and suddenly they're marketing for you. That merch money funds your next big stunt, which drives more viewers to your channel, which gets more people buying merch. That's a loop. Your ecosystem should have multiple entry points. Maybe someone discovers you from a short clip, then finds your long videos, then your behind the scenes content, then your live streams, then your products, then your events, then your collaborations. Every step leads to the next, and every step strengthens their connection to you. And the best part, ecosystems create self-sustaining growth. Each part of the machine powers the others. Your videos bring people to your merch. Your merch funds bigger videos. Your challenges drive media attention. Your media attention brings in sponsors. Your sponsors give you the budget to go even crazier. It's not a straight line, it's a web. When you build an ecosystem, you're not just making money from one thing. You're creating multiple income streams that all pour into the same river. Ads, sponsorships, merch, events, memberships, brand deals, products, collaborations. They all connect and they all push each other higher. Here's the secret. Ecosystems make you bulletproof. If one part of your business takes a hit, the others keep you alive. If the algorithm changes, your email list still reaches your fans. If merch slows down, a new challenge video pulls it back up. You're not relying on luck anymore. You're running a machine that's designed to win no matter what. Building a product makes you money. Building an ecosystem makes you a brand. It makes you unforgettable. It turns strangers into fans, fans into customers, and customers into family. And when you've got that, you don't just launch something. You launch an empire. Everybody wants to win fast. They want to post one video, make one sale, launch one idea. And boom, they're rich, famous, done. But the truth, the real wins come to the people who are willing to play the long game. I'm talking years of grinding, years of learning, years of planting seeds before you ever see a single tree grow. If you're not ready for that, you're not ready for real success. Playing the long game means you're not obsessed with instant results. You're obsessed with building something so solid that once it takes off, nothing can stop it. Most people quit in month 3 because they don't see enough views, or they get tired of reinvesting, or they can't handle working without applause. That's good news for you, because every time they quit, you've just moved one spot closer to the top without even trying. Here's how the long game really works. In the early days, everything you do feels invisible. You post videos nobody watches. You launch products nobody buys. You put on events and barely fill a room. But you keep going. You study. You get better. You figure out what works. You adapt. And every day you keep showing up. You're building a wall so high that eventually nobody can knock it down. The long game is about stacking tiny wins over and over until they snowball into something massive. It's about understanding that the first 100 videos might not blow up, but they're training you for the one that will. And when that one blows up, you'll be ready to handle the attention, the growth, and the pressure, because you've been practicing for years without anyone watching. This is why patience is your secret weapon. Everyone else is sprinting for quick wins, burning out and disappearing. You're running a marathon. You're building systems, skills, and connections that compound over time. You're willing to spend 5 years getting really good at something, knowing that once you hit your stride, you can dominate for decades. When you master the long game, you start thinking differently. You stop chasing trends and start creating them. You stop worrying about one bad month because you're looking at the next 10 years. You make decisions that look crazy in the short term but pay off huge later. You're not trying to win this week. You're trying to make sure you're still winning 20 years from now. And here's the best part. Once you've been in the game long enough, the compound effect kicks in. Every skill you've learned, every person you've met, every piece of content you've made starts working for you all at once. Old videos start getting recommended again. Old fans come back with their friends. Partnerships you made years ago suddenly turn into massive opportunities. Playing the long game means you're not just chasing a moment. You're building a legacy. The goal isn't to blow up fast. The goal is to get so good, so unstoppable, that time becomes your ally instead of your enemy. Because if you stick around long enough, one day you'll realize you didn't just win the game, you became the game. Most people start chasing success with one thought in their head. How do I make money? That's the fastest way to fail. The truth is, if you want insane, unstoppable, life-changing success, you don't obsess over the money. You obsess over the people watching, following, and supporting you. The audience is everything. They're the ones who will make you rich, but only if you give them so much value that the money becomes a side effect, not the goal. When you think about money first, your decisions get small. You start cutting corners, you focus on short-term wins, and you end up squeezing people instead of serving them. But when you focus on the audience, your decisions get bigger. You ask, what would absolutely blow their minds? What can I give them that's 10 times better than what they expected? How can I make their experience unforgettable? When you answer those questions, you're not just making content or selling something. You're building loyalty that lasts forever. The audience can smell selfishness from a mile away. They can tell if you're just trying to cash out on them, but they can also tell when you genuinely care. That's why I reinvest in making my projects bigger, crazier, and more impactful. Because the audience notices. They see the effort, they feel the love, and when people feel like you care about them, they stick with you, support you, and tell everyone they know about you. Think about it. If someone buys from you once, you make money one time. But if they trust you, love what you do, and feel connected to your mission, they'll support you for years. They'll show up to every event, watch every video, buy every product, and share your work with everyone in their circle. That's worth way more than one quick sale. Focusing on the audience also forces you to innovate. You can't just pump out the same thing over and over, they'll get bored. You have to keep raising the bar, surprising them, and delivering value they didn't even know they wanted. You have to be obsessed with making their experience so good that they'd feel stupid not to stick around. And here's the crazy part. The more you focus on them, the more money you end up making anyway. When you build trust, engagement, and excitement, the revenue takes care of itself. Sponsors pay more because your audience actually cares. Merch sells out because people want to feel part of your world. Every move you make gets amplified because you've got an army of people cheering you on. The audience isn't just your customer base. They're your partners in this journey. Treat them like family. Listen to them. Reward them, surprise them, make them feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. Because when you obsess over the audience, the money doesn't just come, it multiplies. And the best part? You get to enjoy the ride with millions of people who feel like they built it with you.